Crabman here from Crabman Gaming, and today we are playing Cricket Captain 2020. This is the India Save Part 9. It is Test matches 3 and 4 against Australia. India have done a great job in the first two tests of the series, winning by 274 runs and 6 wickets. Can they wrap it up with a series win in this third test, Boxing Day, which seems to be in Perth instead of at the MCG in this playthrough? I think mainly because there were 6 test matches in the Australian calendar instead of 5, because they played Afghanistan in 2 tests instead of 1, I think. I think that's what happened anyway. Maybe it was just 1. Let's have a quick look. Maybe I got that wrong. Australia... Yeah, they did. So in real life, Afghanistan were just scheduled for the 1 test match in Perth. So it's kind of messed around the fixtures, but that's okay. I'd be happy for Boxing Day to be in Perth. Okay, India have been in Australia for a long time. They had 3 T20s, then the 2020 World Cup, then 4 test matches, and then after this there are 3 one-day internationals. So January 13 is their last game, and they have been in Australia since October 14. So really that's about 4 months in Australia. That's quite a long time. Let's have a look at how the team has been going this year. No other test matches. So really, Shami is probably the only slight worry. 3 wickets for 68. Do I give Yadav a go? Rotate him through? I might do, actually, because last year Yadav was very strong, as was Shami. But that will be my one change for this third test. And Yadav can bat. And I might open with Sharma. Okay, third test match about to begin. Australia, how different is their lineup? It looks like the same 11 to me. It is, no changes. Let's see how we go. India have won the toss. And we will bat. As the game loads just quickly. All right, let's get into the start. Stark opening the bowling. Let's have highlights on for the first 10 like usual. Thanks again for all of your support. Sharma plays the first ball away for 4. Again, don't really need to rush in this test match. A draw will clinch the series. However, we do want full points to try and finish in the top 2 of the World Test Championship. I'll have a look after this match and see where India stand. Hopefully, Australia haven't done too well, so it's probably between Australia and India. I think Australia is still quite high up the standings as well. I think it is a good idea, but if you're at the mid to lower end of the table and you know you can't reach the final, then the kind of incentive to win matches or not to draw matches doesn't really come into play anymore. But I do like how there is some incentive for India here not to just try and draw 2 test matches. We're going to actively try and win at least the next one and the 4th test as well. Quick shill right at the start of the video. You can find me on Facebook, Crabman Gaming. You can like the page or over on Twitter at Crabman Gaming, as Sharma is dismissed. And KL Rahul comes in. So there are 2 ways that you can get in contact, just like normal. Lots of people are liking the video as these come out every day, so thanks so much. Leaving comments, which I'll do my best to reply to. And a few people are enjoying these videos enough to subscribe, so thank you very much as well. India relatively untroubled to lunch on the first day. Agarwal continues his good run of form with a 50. He's made 100 in the first innings of the first 2 test matches. So let's just keep ploughing along and see what happens. Just grind away at the Australians. They haven't changed the bowlers despite, if you look at the form, despite form not really being too great. Hazelwood hasn't really got too many wickets. This is probably a better way to check it out. 6 at 80, 6 at 47. Was it 80 or did I get that wrong? Sorry, I meant 6 at 48, 6 at 47, 6 at 75, 6 at 60, and no wickets for Mitchell Marsh. So you think they might have rotated somebody else in, but they haven't. Agarwal looks set to bat in for a long time. Rahul made his first 50 of the series. India just plough on ahead. They just keep going. Rahul's gone for 63. In comes Kohli. So far 78. Not too much else. The top order has been doing a great job, so he hasn't had to do too much. Okay. Oh, whoops, I missed Agarwal's 100. So I was daydreaming. Sometimes I just look at what's happening with the bowlers and I forget to look what's going down here. So Agarwal, test average 68, which is incredible. We're just grinding Australia away. 2 for 238. Even David Warner's getting a bowl. He did get a wicket in one of the matches. I think he did get Agarwal out, but it was after he'd made a lot of runs. All right, we're getting towards the end of day one. Oh, Agarwal's gone just before the end of the day. Was a little bit like Tom Sibley, who batted the whole day, even though it was a little bit rain shortened in the in the England versus West Indies test match. 278 for 3. Look at all these first class games. It's no wonder I struggle to keep track of the Indian first class system, because it is massive, as you would expect. In Australia it's a little bit more simple. There's just 6 states that play, and the Big Bash there are 8 teams. So kind of condensed, but I know India's such a big and vast place that they need a far and wide domestic system. Shreyas Iyer gone for 3. Australia fighting back. Kohli gone for 59. Here's where if they can get India out for 400, there's still a big chance in this game. Gee, wickets falling quickly. What have we lost? Let me see. 30. 1, 2, 5 for 30. It's not great. But here's where a good partnership can really hurt the Australians. But Yadav's out. Pant's going to be a little bit more aggressive. Sharma's out. Gee, this has been a really big collapse. 7 for 40. Yeah, 7 for 40 indeed. Can Pant hold on? Oh, what an over. He's made it to 50. What a last over that was. I'll show you quickly here. There we go. 14, 18, 19 off Mitchell Starc. This is hurting the Australians. He's really keeping Bumrah off strike. He gets a whole over. Starc gets him. And that's the end of the Indian innings. 369, a pretty good score, but not a game-winning score. Sharma 22, Agarwal 127, Rahul 63, Kohli 59, Pant 69, not out at the end. A great partnership of 52 runs with Bumrah, who scored just the single. Starc 2 for 109. The best bowler was Hazelwood, 4 for 50, 2 for Pattinson, 1 for Cummins, none for Marsh. Warner just the 1 over. Let's get to the Australian innings. I have a quick recommendation for you as well. If you've watched this far into the video, I did go and see a film today which was called The Booksellers, about all of the antique book sellers and how it's changed over the past 50 to 100 years, mainly focused around New York. So that was really interesting. I do collect a few old books as well if I find them around in my travels, generally looking for games. So I did then go out afterwards and pick up a few old books, and they did pick up a few old games as well. So have a look out for that in recent game pickups 4 whenever I do that video. And you can have a look online as well. I have recent game pickups 1, 2 and 3, so you can have a search through. I do have a playlist called Video Game Collections, so if you would like to see some of my pickups as your dove gets burns, that's a way you can have a look in the playlists, in my playlists and Video Game Collections. So I did pick up about 14 old Xbox and PS2 games for a pretty good price, and I'll go through those in that video when I get around to it, but you can check out the old ones on my channel. Okay, Sharma's bowled well. Yadav is 1 for 3. So that film, again, if you'd like to see it, is called The Booksellers. It was a really interesting film. Not sure if you can see it at a movie theatre. You might have to have a look for it online. I saw it at one, but it was a very, very small theatre. Only had about 20 seats. Okay, Yadav traps Labuschagne. Gone. He hasn't done much this series. Labuschagne or 70. And at 80, actually he's probably done better than I thought. He's averaged 40. But the Australians have struggled to get a really big score. Probably should have brought Ashvin on before Jadeja. Let's get Ashvin on. Did take a lot of wickets in the first game. Took 10, took 2 in the last game. Has 225 test wickets at 24, which is outstanding. All right, let's get the pace bowlers back on. Let's get Bumrah and Sharma on, and then we can rotate through with Yadav, who was the inclusion for this game. Swinging in, trapped plum in front, Warner, gone, LBW to Sharma for 40. So this is this kind of brittle middle order, Marsh, Carey, Stark. Carey struggled in the game, he's come in, but is a very fine batsman indeed. Probably will be Australia's next test keeper if Josh Philippe doesn't overtake him. He's a very exciting player as well. Maybe Josh Philippe will be the T20 keeper and Carey will be the one day and the test keeper. Maybe they might just keep Carey as the test keeper as well, because that's quite an important role, so he doesn't have to switch. A bit like how Tim Bain has just been the test keeper. Maybe that's something different going forward for Australia. Just having a test-only keeper and just saying you focus on test keeping and test batting and don't worry about code switching all of the time. Ashvin's got Smith. His LB is always LBW. 9 times out of 10 in this game, his leg before wicket, hitting the leg stump. Three overs to go. Let's give the seamers 1 each. And let's get Yadav on. End of day 2. Australia 167 for 4. And I'm back. Sorry for leaving you in silence for a few seconds. Just had a really itchy nose and I'm pretty sure you didn't want to hear me giving my nose a quick rub and a scratch. Not inside, not picking my nose, but just having a little scratch on the outside. Probably not the best noise you want to hear coming through the microphone. Straight into however you are listening. Yadav's trapped Marsh, that's hitting the leg stump. He's been given. Marsh just 14. So after this as well, it is 3 one-day internationals against Australia and then 5 tests against England, 3 one-day internationals against Afghanistan, and then the World Test Championship if I make it. So it really will depend on if I make the finals. I'm pretty sure I will with these victories. Sharma ahead. Although the England series will be important to win most of those games. When I played as Australia, India won 4 of those test series to make the World Test final. I think winning 3 or 4 of these matches against Australia should probably lock it in as well. Jadeja gets through Stark. We are into the tail. There's no following on. Australia have avoided the follow-on target. But India do look like they'll have a very handy lead. New ball's due pretty soon. We'll keep Ashvin and Jadeja on. Close for a wicket. So thanks for all the support in these videos as well. If you've been watching all the way through, I know there is a contingent of people who watch these every single day. So thank you so much. It's really helpful. I can see how many views and as well how well the watch time is going. And just as a bit of an insight as well, most of the time the watch time is between 5 and about 12 minutes. So one person might just click on for a minute and go away, and then there's somebody watching, obviously double the amount of time to keep that up there. So thanks. I know there's some loyal people who are watching through, 30, 40 plus minutes a day. So thanks very much. It all does help get these videos into the limelight. The longer they are watched, the more they're watched, the more they will get rated by YouTube up the top. So good watch time definitely does help. Bumrah traps Cummins. He has gone for 21. Oh, he has to bowl this last ball. And that is lunch, day 3, 259. I might go with Sharma and Yadav. No wickets just here. Maybe we'll get the spin, or we'll get Bumrah back on. They're closing this gap a little bit, Australia. Not getting too worried, but Carey's doing a good job after he did struggle in his first match. They're just clinging in, along with Pattinson, who I think he made a 30. Yeah, he did make a 30 in the first innings of the last game to make that game quite interesting. Australia had to chase 110. It was really a shame they didn't set India 200 because that probably would have been a really exciting game. Jadeja gets Carey, he gets his second wicket. He just keeps chipping away. Generally what happens with the spinners. Last wicket now, Pattinson. Tends to be what happens if you break a partnership. The other batsman loses concentration. He's LBW. He batted for nearly an hour and a half again. Just 44 behind, so it's a pretty close game. Absolutely not putting this one in the bank. It is very even indeed. Let's do highlights for another 10. It is nice to see some batting highlights. Agarwal's looked very good in the first innings, but he hasn't done heaps in the second innings, and it's very interesting to see Cummins bowling around the wicket, which he's been dispatched for a big straight 6. It's a very strange strategy early on. You can understand after a few overs, but to start around the wicket is very strange indeed. Alright, T36 for no loss. Still a lot of this game to go. So you want to set Australia, I would say at least 300 to win. I think it has been amended as well. I did mention in some of my earlier videos, there were a lot of people posting about huge 4th innings chases, but I haven't really seen that. So I think maybe that got patched quite early on to be a little bit more realistic. I think there were a lot of scores of 400 or 450 being chased. Oh, it's a no ball. That's disappointing for Cummins. But that seemed to... I haven't really heard that since about the first week of the game. And if you are wondering about Android as well, I think that is to be released very soon. Up on the Cricket Captain page, they did say that due to COVID, the Android staff there's a reduction in staff, so things are taking a lot longer to be processed, as Agarwal's gone for a very rapid 40. I was just checking to see how many balls that was off. Cummins has trapped Sharma, so again, only 115 ahead. There's a not out. Pattinson comes into the attack. They will need another wicket soon. I'm just going through another game really quickly as well. If you do have a PS4 and you have PlayStation 4 Plus, one game I'd really recommend playing that I played in full last night is Erica. It's free if you have PlayStation Plus. It goes for about 2 hours. It plays like an interactive movie. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed playing it. I just played it through in one sitting and had a great time. I thought it was really, really good. So if you have a PS4 and PS Plus, Erica is definitely worth 2 hours of your time. And just go into it blind. Don't look at the trophy list. Don't look at how to get, what's called the best ending or the worst ending. I think there are about 7 endings. Just play it exactly how you want to. That's the best way to play those games. So there's just a quick recommendation from me. Okay, 152 ahead. Kohli's been very watchful. This is the start of day 4. So 2 full days to go. I'm pretty sure there'll be a result. But we're not in a huge rush to throw the wickets away either. Rahul is batting well. He's looking for a back-to-back 50 along with Kohli. Kohli's batting a bit slow. Let's get him to bat a little bit more quickly to Cummins. He's holed out though. Gone for 17. 2 hours for 17. He's really struggled to get going too much in this series. No hundreds, which you probably would expect. And they are batting quite slowly, under 3 and over. Oh, Australia's eyes gone cheaply again. It's Rahul and Pant. Can Australia mirror the first innings where they took 7 for about 30 or 40 runs? I thought that was going to be that short run out. Sometimes you see that shot and short cover stops the ball and fires in a throw. That was an expensive over. There's a 4 down the ground, 200 ahead. It's a big edge, no slip in. Australia probably being a little bit too defensive, in my opinion. Probably should attack, try and get some wickets as their only chance of winning the game. If India just bat, let the game drift on, it'll probably get away from the Australians. Lunch on day 4, 235 ahead. Someone did ask as well a few days ago in the comments, they said, what's my favourite mode of the game to play? I do like Test cricket, like I do. It's probably my favourite format of the game, but it definitely is the easiest format of the game. So challenge-wise, it's not hard. I do enjoy playing Test matches. Australia is especially if you get a very dominating side and you go through undefeated for a long time. That's exciting, but it's not super challenging. I really like picking a T20 franchise, like the Scorchers or an IPL team or a Caribbean Premier League team, and just developing your own squad. So quite often I will release all the players I don't like after the first season, get in the internationals I like, tend to get in as many aggressive batsmen as I can, some good bowlers, and just have a small squad. They kind of make you have 18, but I'll generally have about 16 and just pick 2 really cheap players to fill out those positions. It can backfire if a lot of your players go on international duty, though. I think there's nothing more annoying than picking someone who is very expensive. If most of your players cost, 50,000, and you pick an international that's 100,000, and it says they're available for the whole season, and then they play 1 or 2 games, there's nothing more annoying than that in your T20 franchise. So yeah, I probably like picking a franchise. It's probably my favourite way because internationally you can just pick from everyone, but a franchise you can pick players from all over the world. And it's a no ball. Pant 63, Rahul 88, getting ahead here, 300 ahead. And it really depends which league you like. I like the IPL because you can have 4 overseas players. I like the Big Bash because you've got strong local players along with 2 internationals. And then the Caribbean Premier League I like because you've got lots of aggressive West Indian batsmen, as Pants out for 64. And then you can also get in some good internationals as well. But you don't get the biggest budget. Oh, Jadeja's gone. Second ball. Australia fighting back. They need 4 quick wickets. Probably 330 or 340 is as much as they'd probably want to chase. Rahul, no slip with the new ball. That is bizarre, in my opinion. I would definitely have a slip in. Let's put highlights on and see Rahul's 100. He can just dab. There's no one there. Big 100 for KL Rahul. Australia look a long way off winning this match to get them back in the series. No real rush to declare either. Probably declare if we haven't been bowled out with half an hour to go. Nice 4 down the ground. Let's turn the highlights off. 350, it's probably gone past Australia now. But India do still want to win this test, so let's look to bat aggressively. And that tends to be what happens in these test matches. Sides get really into the game, and then there's just one partnership which seems to take the game away as well. Alright, I'm going to declare with half an hour to go, so we may as well go one more, 400 ahead. Oh, I hate not being exactly ahead. Oh, there we go. I was going to declare after that over. 402 to win. which means there are 12 overs. No, not 12 overs. 12 minutes left. Let's be nice and aggressive. Make sure we got chances back on. I think I put that on already. Warner. Oh, it's not out. And Sharma. Let's give it to Yadav. Sometimes it says 2 overs, but you only get 1 over. Oh, it does give me 2 that time. End of day 4, 27 for none. 376 Australia need to get back into the series. And then we'll play the 4th test as well. So this has just been the 3rd test for now. That's not out. I wonder if it's going to test this 4th innings theory of mine. Warner's gone. I do tend to find, though, that the openers will bat well, and then the middle order will collapse. That's a great catch. Who's that over there? Kohli. I should know. He's always at second slip. I don't know why I always have to ask who's there. But Kohli has taken it. Sharma comes in. Let's get Ashwin in. 2 for 60. What can Ashwin do? Yes, he spun one. Taking the middle stump of Joe Burns. Oh, he's wandered out the crease. Pant whips the bails off. And Ashwin has 2 for 3. Get the spin on. That's what I say. Get lots of spinners on. Do love spinners in Test cricket. Sometimes underused. You just have to look at Roston Chase on day 1 where they brought him in 1 over before lunch. Got a wicket second ball. Completed his over after lunch. He had 2 for 1 from just 3 balls. So 2 wickets for 1 run. Was outstanding. Can be very underrated spinners. Okay, let's go with Sharma. 2 sessions to go. Are Australia going to try and hang on? Whoops. What happened there? I meant to put Bumrah on. Will Australia look to bat out the day for a draw? 3 hours to go. 6 wickets needed. We need more spin on. More Ashwin, more Jadeja. Steve Smith's trying to hang on. I'm going to guarantee let's lock it in that Steve Smith will get out LBW. I'm pretty sure he will. Jadeja to Marsh. He's just bowling around the wicket. Marsh has wandered out his crease. He's gone for 40. In comes Carey. He batted really well in the first innings. Could he last just an over? He has. He sneaked it to first slip. Rahul's there. Safe pair of hands. Sometimes has the gloves on. Carey's gone. And that's probably ended Australia's hope to save this game. We'll just keep bowling the spinners here. Alright, 4 wickets. 200 to win. I'll just bowl the spinners through to the new ball. Well, they are just dead batting the spinners. Alright, let's give Sharma an over. Why not? Smith's made it to 100. Who else can bowl some spin? So first class. Who's got some wickets? Oh, let's give Iyer an over. I don't think he bowls very much. But why not? Yep, let's take the new ball. And let's get Bumrah in. Stark's holding on. Let's get the slips in. New ball hasn't quite done the trick. Australia trying to hold out for a draw. That's gone. Stark's out. Batted for an hour and a half for his 9. The runs don't really matter. It's about the wickets. Cummins has been clean bowled in the same over. Just 2 wickets, an hour to go. Australia have done a pretty good job. I'm going to get Yadav in. Just change these tactics slightly. Let's get the field up to Smith. It doesn't matter if we go for runs. Australia holding on. You just don't want to declare too early either and give the opposition too much hope, especially in this kind of series. Catch, that's gone. Sharma's taken Pattinson. There's just 2 overs to go. We'll go full aggression. Bumrah's bowled really well. Should we give one to Ashwin? Let's go full as well. Last over. We'll give it to Sharma. It's probably going to be a draw. Did probably leave the declaration too late. It is drawn. Oh, Australia hang on by 1 wicket. That was probably a shame. Probably should have gone a little bit more aggressive, or probably should have declared a couple overs earlier. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. Let's not worry about the stats just yet. World ratings, India still first. Let's have a look at that World Test Championship, and then we'll go into Test match number 4. Whoops, why am I exiting? Don't want to be exiting. Go into Test Championship. Here we go. Oh, so it's very tight. So this England series is going to be close. So India play England, Australia play South Africa. So yeah, it's not an absolute given. Although I'm not sure if it's put any of the points in as you go. So we actually have 2 wins. Yeah, it doesn't, because we've got a no result. It actually only changes the table at the end of a series. It doesn't change it test by test, which is what happens in real life. So maybe that would be helpful to have that done test by test. All right, let's go into the final test. 2-0. So Australia have won the series. Helps India attain their ranking points. You get 2 points for a win. Let's have a look at how everybody's going. Shreyas Iyer. Did want to try and get one of these other batsmen in. I mean, Gill's average is so high. So is Vihari's. He's played some cricket. I want to try and get Prithvi Shaw in because he's aggressive. Test cricket. Let's have a look how Vihari's been going. Not bad. Let's have a look at first class currency. Oh, they haven't played any. I'll pick Vihari just because he's more of a middle order player. He likes to bat at 3. Everyone likes to bat at 3. And Gill is more of an opener. Yep, we'll give Vihari a go. Everybody else I quite like. I'll give Yadav another go. Any spin though? He's a bit of a spinner's wicket. We've got 2 spinners anyway. Let's not worry too much. We're at Sydney. It's always a bit of a spinner's wicket. Let's go. Anyone changing? Lions come in. Really, that's the only change for the Australians. I'm surprised they didn't change anyone else, really. Just Lion in for a bit more of a spin-friendly wicket. Okay, let's put chances on. Oh, go on. First ball. Warner's out. Setting the tone for this match. Let's see what happens. Will Australia fight back? This is still an important test match in the context of the World Test Championship. Labuschagne gone to Sharma. It's 30 for 2. Don't want to let this slip because Australia are the rivals. And don't want it to be Australia versus England in the final and miss out because India just let themselves down in this test match, even though the series is gone. Burns has gone to Sharma. It's a good start. Especially that Australia's batting first as well. It's probably their best chance of a win in this series. Getting to bat first. I think India have batted first in the other games. Yadav's gone to head. His pace is really working. Mitch Marsh is in. Test average just 25. Just going to bring this pace back on just early on. It's a great move. Smith LBW. He's always LBW. That's not out for some reason. How's that not out? Hit him outside the line. Stuck in line. Missing leg stump. Didn't look like it. Didn't look like it on first viewing. Maybe some in swing that I didn't see. Okay, Sharma's here as well. Bumrah to Sharma. No, to Smith. Caught and bowled. Not LBW. Australia doing themselves no favours in the early part. Before lunch, losing 5 wickets. Marsh has got his test average of 25. Oh, let's keep Sharma on for a couple. Been expensive, but he's taken 2. It's Yadav. Let's get the spinners on now. Just needed to let that wicket wear down a little bit. Get Jadeja into the attack. Marsh, very quick. 49 for Marsh. I was going to say quick 50, but he hasn't got there just yet. That should be out for Carey. Has it hit him in line? It has. The fingers up. He tried to get outside the line. Umpire's call on impact, but hitting the middle stump. Carey's gone for 29. We're into the bowlers. although it is bowlers that can bat. Oh, it's gone the other way. No wickets for Ashwin. Let's get Sharma back on. He did bowl well. He's just a little bit expensive. Jadeja's doing a good job as well. That's hit him outside the line. Sharma to Marsh. 70s, batting well. Just the one test century, I believe. Nope, he's got two. 181, I think that was at the Wacker. He was batting with his brother Sean Marsh for quite a while in that game that was against England. There's a big cut. Is there a man out there on the boundary? It is. It's that backwards catch. I haven't mentioned it for a while, but Marsh has gone for 78. Jadeja gets another wicket. Sharma still bowling. Let's get Bumrah back on. Australia just 207 for 7 at T. Day 1, 4th test match. Whoops, I didn't mean to start with Jadeja. I'm going to start with Yadav. Be interesting playing 5 test matches against England. There's not many series where you do play 5 tests. Obviously the Ashes, Australia, England's always a 5 test match series. And then India and England are really the only other one I can think of that are still 5 test series, especially as such a busy calendar these days. To fit 5 test matches in is huge. So that'll probably go for a while, especially that video. That's 3 test matches long. I'll have to make sure the throat's warmed up for that one. Sometimes I do wonder what I'm going to talk about for, 30 to 40, 45 minutes per video. But things always seem to come out. Generally try and commentate on the game as much as I can, along with maybe some things I've been doing or some things that have been happening. Hazelwood's gone. Jadeja's trapped him. 232 for Australia. Not a great score. Still looks to be a pretty good pitch. Maybe India can just bat once. We'll put highlights on for the first 10. Not going to look to be too aggressive. Really going to look to be 0 down at the end of the day's play. There's 3 slips in. I do like that aggression. They've taken them out fairly quickly. I tend to dislike having 3 slips in the game just because the opposition always seems to get off to a flyer if you don't get an early wicket for the sake of having an extra slip and gully in. So India have been very aggressive early. 45 off the first 10. We'll turn these highlights off. 23 minutes. So let's just shut up the shop. Nathan Lyon is in. And 64 for none. So my goal is to just bat once in this test match. Let's see if we can put on a big score. It's kind of the advantage of batting second. If you bat first, I always feel like you should bat again and not make the opposition follow on, especially if it's early in a series. Agarwal's past 50 again. Has that been every first innings? It has been 200, 126 and 127 and now 60 not out. But later in the series, I'm fine to bat second, just bat once. I'd probably enforce the follow-on as well. This probably does look to be a nice big score from India. I don't want to speak too soon, but there's Lunch, 158 for 1. Let's get Rahul up a little bit past strike rate of 50. Would be nice. Agarwal's nearly 100. Let's put the highlights on for him. Oh, that's Rahul. Oh, he's out. Rahul's gone. Caught behind for 44. In comes Kohli. He'd like a big score to finish off this test match. It's a nice little block. Kohli scurries through. Agarwal gets his 4th century in the first innings in this series. That's incredible. I wonder if that's ever happened before. 4 centuries in 4 first innings in a row. And now he's getting a move on, which is great as well. The Australian lead. Kohli's gone again. He's not had the best series. I'll go through the series stats after this as well. India ahead. Just 3 wickets down. So we move into T. Vihari's gone. Doesn't really take his chance. Might not get a bat in the second innings. You need to take the most of your opportunities when you're in a very competitive team. Be like Australia in the 90s where there were some phenomenal players who never got much of a go at Test cricket. Stuart Law comes to mind. Darren Lehmann only played 27 Test matches. Martin Love for Queensland, he was great. Matthew Elliott, he was a little bit earlier, but he probably would have played more Test cricket. There were just some phenomenal players who didn't get much of a go. Brad Hodge for Victoria, just the 6 Test matches. So crazy, really, some of these players. Stuart McGill was born in the wrong era. Still managed about 60 matches, but he was in my opinion, the second best spinner in the world, but, played at the same time as Shane Warne, as Agarwal gets out. So that was a real shame for his career. Maybe he should have swapped countries and played for someone else. All right, there was a quick wicket. Jadeja gone for just 1. Lyon, he's got 2 wickets. So we're only 80 ahead. I was looking just about once, but it's not a huge score. At the end of day 2, 333 for 6. So maybe Australia can set India a target to chase. Pant passes 50. It's been a good partnership. Again, this is that one partnership in every game that seems to have taken the game away from Australia. 4 quick wickets, and they were right in the game as but Pant goes for 79, and Yadav comes to the crease. Ashwin gets another Test 50. It's his 13th to go with 4 Test centuries. That's a great average for your number 9, 29. I know he was batting at 7 at one point in the Indian lineup. He departs. Yadav's gone. Hang on, why isn't... Sharma's at 10. Bumrah's at 11. Little partnership at the end. Interesting. 232 for Australia. Bumrah did take 4. Jadeja 3. India 4-4-4 all out. Agarwal again magnificent with 165. Look at all those centuries. Supported by Pant, Rahul 44, Sharma 36, 56 from Ashwin down the bottom, 3 for Lyon, 3 for Stark, 4 for Pattinson. He bowled really well. No wickets for Hazelwood. And I don't think Mitchell Marsh has taken a wicket all series. He hasn't. So that's not helping his Test average very much at all, especially this year. You're the all-rounder with 1 wicket at 264. Let's see if India can wrap this up without having to bat again. David Warner survives the first ball this time, but he's still not off the mark. Let's try a couple of aggressive overs. Let's keep it for the first 10. Yeah, and then the runs start to come. Generally why I just like the 2 slips in. And I like to keep 2 slips in for most of the innings as well. Let's go back to Bumrah. Let's bowl these. Pace bowlers for most of the first 15. Hit him outside the line. And then we'll go with a big barrage of spin. Tend to like holding off on the spinners sometimes. And then just keeping the spinners in for a nice long bowl. Warner's run out for 49. That would be frustrating. Alright, Sharma Labuschagne snicked off. He's gone for a duck. Alright, let's get the spin on. Ashvin's on. I'll have 1 more for Sharma. And then we'll get Jadeja on. And I might just get these 2 just to bowl a lot into the final session of the day. Rest the quicks. That's Plum. Hit him full and straight. Jadeja to Smith. LBW again. Just programmed into the game. Steve Smith gets out LBW. It just always happens. There's no other way for Steve Smith to get out. 100 for 3. Let's keep these spinners on for most of the evening session. And we might get the pace bowlers to come back for the last half an hour. There was an old game, I think it was 2005 or 2006, and I may have explained this story before, but you might not have heard it, where you could have 2, in the English county system, you could have 2 overseas players. And if you picked Hampshire, Shane Warne was there already, and then for your other overseas player, you'd pick Matai Mullaridharan, and then create spinning wickets, and just bowl Warne and Murali for 80% of every game, and they would just dominate the county championship. Hampshire was almost a lock-in for them to win. And then I think the season after it went down to 1 overseas player, so you couldn't do that anymore, sadly. But there was a time where you could have 2 overseas players, and there was just a little bit of a game exploit to have the 2 greatest spinners of all time in the same county team. Those poor English county batsmen coming up on an absolute raging turner against Warner Morelli. So I think that was 2005. All right, Sharma's got Marsh, he's gone. I did mention this as well. I found 2008 and I gave that a go. I put that in my computer. I've got 2009 as well, which what's actually interesting about that is 2009, and that game is the Phil Hughes edition as well. So it has Phil Hughes on the cover after he debuted at 20 and scored 200s against South Africa. So really a little bit sad looking at that, but they did identify him as an absolute talent in Australia from a very early age. And I think a lot of people agree that he was destined to have a long run in the Australian team. Bumrah de Carey, and that's not just saying that because of what happened, but he was in and out of the side a lot. He'd already played, I think, 30 test matches by the time he was 25. And that did happen to some of the greats in Australian cricket. Yadav's Trap Starks. If you look at, the likes of Steve Waugh, he was in and out of the side. Mark Waugh. I want to say Justin Langer had some time out of the team. So a lot of the greats, when they came in, they learnt, they did okay, probably averaged in the 30s, went out, got better, came in, started dominating the game. So I will, at some point, try and capture some gameplay footage for those as well. As Yadav's on a hat-trick, he's got Pattinson first ball. Can he get Nathan Lyon? He's just dabbed it for a single. Right, let's get the spinners on. Oh, we'll get Sharma on with Ashvin. But just as we're nearing this video, we're nearing the end. Yeah, I would like to play those as well, just to show you the differences in the game. Lines plumb. One thing I did notice was the camera was in a lot closer. So I'm not sure if that was the same on all of the games, but it was that way on 2008. Do have International Cricket Captain 3 on the PS2 as well, so that could be something interesting to play. I know I think it's Cricket Captain 2000 on the PS1, but I haven't found that around recently. I did have it many years ago, but when you do move around quite a lot, I did tend to move on some of my things before settling down. Yep, let's take the new ball. Australia lead by 48, so we will have to bat again. Even though it's not going to be too much of an effort to chase this down. Burns, last man out again. That was reminiscent to one of the earlier tests in this series. Might have been this first test match in the second innings. He held on, so just 50 needed. Let's try and be a little bit aggressive. Let's see how quickly we can get it. Hopefully we don't lose a bunch of wickets. No ball. No free hits in Test cricket. Oh, Sharma's gone. In comes Rahul. Plays it through the offside. So thanks for watching this video today. If you've watched it all the way through, thank you so much. And get ready for tomorrow, which will be 3 one-day internationals against Australia. And I think they will be very competitive indeed. And then 5 test matches against England. So that'll be exciting to see what India need to do to get to the final of the World Test Championship. Then 3 really exciting one-days against Afghanistan. And then this series should wrap up with the World Test Championship as well. Just 12 to win. Agarwal should probably hit the winning runs. It would be fitting. He's been the man of the series. Move over Virat Kohli. Rahul hits the winning run into the deep. Don't worry about bringing the field in. They've got the runs in 8.1 overs, so over a run a ball. And India win by 9 wickets and end up winning the series 3-0. Probably should have won 4-0. Declared a little bit too late. Let's have a quick look at the Australian stats. Burns did a great job. He was the best batsman for Australia by far, 56. Smith at 58. You're always going to find some high averages in Australia. And then after that, averages 33 for Warner, which is okay. And then after that, the batsman not really contributing. 28 for Head, 22 for Labuschagne, 22 for Marsh, not really good enough. 25 for Carey. The bowling was the big concern for Australia. James Pattinson was by far and away the best, 18 at 26. Stark 12 at 57 at a high economy, not great. Hazelwood 11 at 47. Cummins, one of the best bowlers in the world, 9 at 69. Lyon took 3. And Mitch Marsh, 49 overs without a wicket. So that wasn't great for the Australians. The Indians were led with 711 glorious runs at 101.57 from Agwal. Sharma, 471 at 67. Pant didn't get out a lot of times, 372. He was not out. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3 times. So his average was 124. Rahul averaged nearly 50. Kohli, quite disappointing really, just 31. Ashvin chipped in well down the order, average of 52. Shreyas Iyer was disappointing. Vihari just the one hit. Bowling-wise, spread out beautifully. Jadeja 19 wickets at 19. He took 10 for in the first match. Sharma 18 at 28. In Australia, you would take anything under 30. Bumrah 16 at 25 with a good economy. Ashvin, yeah, that's okay. Supporting. Yadav took 8 in his 2 matches. Shami was a little bit disappointing. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Oh, I told you I was going to do the World Test Championship. That's probably locked India in, to be honest, into the final. England would need a lot of wins. It's probably looking to be England and Australia. I don't see England getting many points against India, and Australia will just need a few against South Africa, who are all the way down here. I'm pretty sure Pakistan might not make it. Although if Australia lose and India don't, so if England don't win a match and Australia don't win a match, Pakistan might squeeze in. They have got a series to go. Who are Pakistan facing? Pakistan are facing, they're facing South Africa as well. So that will be interesting. Thanks for watching the video today. Tomorrow, 3 one-dayers against Australia again. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.